Welcome back to Let's Laugh About It podcast with Jackie, Zoe, and our special guest. Today we have Hyrum as our guest, and I'm super excited. We barely any. I was trying to think. When was the last time we had a guest? Have we
Never.
had a guest?
Oh, Molly.
Never? Oh, Mom.
Ooh, I'm following Molly. Dang.
Yeah, you have a lot to live up to after Molly.
Yeah.
Molly was such a great guest.
Honestly, that episode did really well, actually.
Yeah. Oh, that episode actually it really warmed my heart. So if you haven't listened to the episode with Molly, go back and listen to it. Jackie will link it in the show notes.
Hell yeah, I will.
I'm going to intro Hyrum very briefly and then let Hyrum gas himself up as much as he wants. Hyrum is the director of digital experience at Scott's Miracle Grow. And also we bought a Cybertruck together and are monetizing it. So we've been doing a little content journey, which we could talk about too. And we have a question in the chat already. How's the Cybertruck? So we will talk about the Cybertruck. But yeah. Hyrum, do you want to say hello?
Hi, hello.
That big sigh.
Don't be so upset to be here, Hyrum.
I'm hyped. No, I do that. And people always kind of get a little reticent as I do that. And they think I'm going to say something really great. And then it's just like, oh, that's it. That's all I got. Just trying to set my own tone. No, thanks. I'm super excited to be here. It's fun. And as you're saying, I work for Scott's Miracle Grow, so lawn and gardens. It's actually, I think for some people at first blush, that's like boo, boring. At least I've been to plenty of events where people are like, oh God, that must be an awful job. But I love it. I do garden, and I guess I do lawns too, but my passion
mow the lawn
would be in gardening. And for my role, I get to touch everything that's like digital content and all of our own channels for our brands. So our brands, obviously Scott's, which is lawns, Miracle Grow, which is gardens. And then a lot of people don't know we have Ortho, which is controls. So like pest controls, Tomcat, again, more controls, Roundup, Arrow Garden. And then we have a subsidiary, Hawthorne Gardening, which that's in hydroponics. And that's actually where I started and came into the Scott's business. But yeah, I'm fortunate to work on all of the own channels. So social media, our CRM, our websites, and all the content that goes there.
Which is insane because you do like 60 people's jobs for one. Like it's insane to see Scott's have so many, own so many brands. And then, yeah, you look at digital for all of them, which is very impressive.
That's crazy. It's a lot. It's a lot. But I feel fortunate to be in this spot. And it feels like a lucky position to be in because getting to bring all those channels together and work on them as like a single person and really getting to drive those the way for the most part that I want to, that's lucky.
I wanted to, we have a couple different, actually, I'm sorry. Hyrum has prepared an agenda for us.
Oh, has he?
No, not really.
Oh, I was going to say thank God because I don't have one.
I told him when we were talking about recording, I was like, I'm going to just hand it off to you and you could do the agenda.
I'll do it the same way I do my team meetings. We'll start with highs and lows for the week.
Oh, I love that. Let's do it.
Jackie, you go first. You seem excited.
Oh, okay. Well, I know my low, which I guess is kind of depressing. What's my high? Honestly, my high is that it's been so nice this week in San Diego. Like middle of the day, it hits like almost 80. It's really nice. Been enjoying my walks. Really been like soaking in the sun. I actually feel like I've gotten some sun. It's been great. So that's my high. Thanks. And then my low is that on Monday, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, I got T-boned by a dumb... Oh, wait. You know what? I shouldn't do that. I got T-boned by a man, and who's a young guy. He hit me, and I just want it to be over with, but those things don't end quickly. So that's my low, but I won't give any other details for legal reasons, but
Are you going to tell everyone if you're okay or not?
I'm okay, and so is he. Like, he's 100% okay. You should see, it might be like a California thing, I don't know, but in San Diego, these kids drive around on these like bikes, like they're like e-bikes or like super bikes, whatever, like maniacs, like waiting to get into an accident. And yeah, one T-boned me and like tried to blame it on me, and I was like, not accepting liability, bud. Yeah. But like they didn't want to do insurance or anything for who knows what reason. So I mean, it is what it is. We mutually agreed to walk away, but of course it never ends at that. They like trying to get money from me, but I don't owe them money, so that's that. I'm probably saying more than I should say, as if like this is ever going to become like discovery in a courtroom. Like this is never going to be anything. But
this is the public record.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my low.
Jackie, that's so stressful. So stressful. Wait, can we talk about these before we go on to, can we talk about these stupid bikes?
Because they're so annoying.
They are those like motorized bicycles that act like they're bicycles but they're motorized. They're like motorcycles.
Yeah.
They script the rules that way, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this one was an actual super bike, which I guess is like pretty close to a motorcycle. I don't know. The guy across the street has been super kind to me. He had like video footage of it. That was the only way I was able to prove that he was definitely going over 50 miles per hour in a 30. Insane. And because at the scene, I kept being like, I swear you were going way too fast. Because the whole thing was, I saw him coming. He kept being like, oh, you probably didn't see me. You probably didn't see me. I'm like, kept telling him, no, I made the conscious decision to turn into the parking spot because I did see you, but you were very far away. It's like the minute I started turning, you were like, let me put the pedal to the metal. And he was like, no, I was going 30. I was going 30. And I was like, whatever. I mean, there's no proof. And this angel comes out of his house and he's like, I have video footage. He was going very fast. I'll do the math. And then he did the math for me, and the kid was going over 50. But yeah, he was on like a super bike. I don't know. These kids on these bikes, I'm like, who is allowing this?
Yeah, that the people who can do the math, I love it. There's a subreddit, they did the math, where it's like shit like that, stuff like that, where like people will come in and figure out and do this asinine math, but it's so great. And like, yeah. I love it.
No, he was like, I could tell because I did the math because I know the length of the sidewalk squares, and then like based on like the amount of elapsed time. And then he sent me like all these freeze frames of like, because this guy's got cameras. I mean, it's a very nice neighborhood. He's got cameras all over his house. And he sent me all these freeze frames from even like down the street when you couldn't even see me yet, just like showing how far away he was when I started to turn, and just being like, he was clearly like not paying attention because he could totally have stopped in time. But.
Hyrum, what's your highs and lows of the week?
My high is being here. This is honestly, this is actually really fun. I've watched a good handful of these episodes. I've been in the chat a few times, and yeah, so it's cool to be here.
We're happy to have you.
Well, thanks. Low is always a tough one. I either have like a really terrible low and it brings everybody down, or I'm like, it was pretty even keeled week. So we've gone back and forth on the weather, like where it's like beautiful, sunny, and it's so nice, and then the next day it'll be rainy and cold again, and it's like that swing of like back and forth where we're just coming out of winter, just it hurts. It like crushes my heart where I'm like, please just full spring or full summer. So
I feel that.
It's been overcast and colder today. So
you guys are both like really boring in using the weather as one of your highs and lows. Just saying.
Sorry, but the weather is a huge part of the day.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say I'm against the people who are like, oh, people who don't know what to talk about with somebody else will bring up the weather. No, I love talking about the weather. It doesn't have to mean that I barely know you in an elevator.
You have some supporters in the chat. Weather has a main line into mental health. Okay,
It
fine.
does.
But I think it's boring.
Okay.
Cool. My new low is your judgment.
Yeah.
Buck said I'm boring. Okay. Anyways, my highs and lows. I've been waiting to say them. And they're not about the weather. Okay. My high is
Wait, Hyrum didn't say his high. Oh yeah, he did.
Being on this
being
show.
here.
Okay, go.
My high is having my a home again. I told Jackie, I messaged her and I was like, I'm ready to I was talking about making gorgeous content and I'm like, I'm ready for it now that I have a home again. And you were like, LOL, a home.
It's funny that you said that because when I was talking to Millie earlier today, I was like, I think Zoe will be back on it more consistently because she finally is like living somewhere.
No, seriously, I feel like I've been back and forth for so long. But yeah, on Monday was the first day that I got to like sit in this office and work, and I haven't had a place to just work for a while. And so it's really nice. I miss having just a desk, honestly. Like I just needed a desk. And then my low, actually, I feel bad for telling you guys how boring your low was because you're gonna hate my low, I think. But my low was actually that I couldn't go. So I moved to Arizona to be in the office, and I've been here for technically I closed on the house on the 15th of March and it's the 11th of April, so almost like a month I've had like a home here. And I haven't been in the office once. And I feel this like weird, not guilt, but it's because I've been having construction and I don't have a plan for like my dog when there's like people in and out of the house. And so I feel weird that I moved here to go into the office and I haven't been in the office. And so that's like my low.
But you've been getting a lot of work done. You only go in the office when you want to have like an easy work day, talk to people, hang out a little bit more.
That's so true. I think I get it's a different type of productivity that's more like culture and then like also just things that you need to like when you're like chasing people down for things and you like can walk up to someone's desk and be like, what's going on with this? And that's like the type of productivity. But like I need if I need to do like focused work, I need to be like in my office alone with different so it feels weird, but that is my low.
I actually have noticed you haven't been in the office because like I only have like a few people's locations. So if I'm ever like checking locations to like see why somebody isn't answering me or something, I always notice that you're at home, and I'm always like, I feel like that's probably like killing Zoe because it's literally the reason she moved here.
Can we take, sorry, Jackie, tell me if this is annoying and I should stop, but there's some good chat in the chat. And
no,
I
go off.
acknowledge it.
It's not annoying when like you state that you're about to read something off from the chat. Because when you don't read the question or anything, then I have to cut the whole thing out because it makes no sense. So go ahead, but just say what they said.
Okay. So I'm about to read from the Twitch chat. If you're listening to this on the podcast page, not live, we most of the time go live on Twitch. So subscribe to my Twitch, Agave Zoe, today Junior, TTV Agave Zoe. And Matt B subscribed, and he's been subscribed for 33 months.
Dang. Loyal.
So thank you, Matt B. Hey. And then also some Gunner Joe shared his high and low. And
I love that.
High is family has good health and doesn't worry about anything. And his low has been a long journey on the mind. I feel that.
Oh, yeah.
Feel that. And also thank you, Ern. He said he loves the house. And now I just think of you every time I see a Cybertruck. Interesting. How many Cybertrucks are you seeing around? Okay. Office culture for me is culture driven. My office has an awesome culture, and I think it helps with attrition. I love that.
It does. Seeing people makes a huge difference. When I started tail end of COVID at Hawthorne, the subsidiary, and we weren't going into the office. And I came in a little hot. Like we have all these brand directors who I love, and they're really great. And they had all this work that they wanted to put into like social and on the websites and in the email. And I came in and was like, what do you want this for? What is the purpose? What are your objectives? And like, it was very abrasive, and I know I rubbed people the wrong way initially, and there was friction to begin with. But after, like, let's say 3 months, 4 months in, I went and met everybody. After that, it was like gravy. There's no problems. And people are like, oh, he's not an asshole. He's just trying to do his job. Just maybe a little more rudely at first.
It's hard to like manage virtually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without kind of being a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly. So.
That's so true. I feel like it is really hard. Like, it's just different I was actually thinking about this a lot. That kind of goes back to the last episode when we talked about like BPOs and like just, like, even if you compare it to like customer experience and you're like talking to someone and like, or even like Twitter fingers, or like social media muscles, where it's like things can be said in like email and text and stuff, or like taken the wrong way. But then when you just like call someone up and just like talk through something, it's like so different. You can, like, you remember that like you're all on the same team. And like you're trying to get to a common goal, and everyone has so much on their plate. So it's like you're all on the same team, and it's hard to do that when it's like everything's virtual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't help that I have terrible RBF, resting bitch face. And so
you do.
Like in meetings, I'll be like just focused. I'm listening because I actually have a hard time hearing. And so I'm like really intently listening, but I'm just like, I look like such an asshole. But I'm focusing. And I've had a couple of people, like I've heard after the fact of a couple of meetings, people like, ooh, Hyrum was mad in that one. And I was like, no, I was just focusing, and that's my working face.
That's funny. I don't know if I have an RBF. I don't think I do. Maybe I do.
I don't.
Maybe I do.
Most of the time, but I think it's almost serves me injustice because when I'm upset, I'm like, I can't hide it. And so like if someone like pisses me off, like that's when like since my default is happy, if I don't look happy, it's like, what's wrong with Zoe? And
that actually is so true.
Yeah. And sometimes I could have I could be just having like a blah day, and it's like, no, like just, I'm just like not in a good mood, and it's not anyone's fault or anything.
Yeah.
But if I'm not smiling, everyone's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Are you mad at me? Like, and I'm like, no, I just don't want to smile right now.
Yeah. I just like feel like being like stale face. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So there has been some interesting topics. Hyrum and I were talking about this earlier, kind of relating to the Cybertruck because of how much attention it gets, and along with like how much childhood curiosity there is, and like talking to strangers, and just like the weirdness about how there's so many people around us all the time and we never interact with them, but we're like this close, like standing right next to them, but we don't talk to them. And it got us down this rabbit hole of talking about like in-person events that aren't like big conferences. And so I thought that it would be a good topic. We can go two routes. We can talk about that right now, or Hyrum, when we were talking about recording this episode, he was like, oh, well, me and Jackie are probably just going to go talk about pop culture, and then you won't be able to talk to us about it. So yeah, we can go either way. You guys can do your little pop culture like spiel, or
can we do I think we should do what you're talking about, Zoe. I like that theme. But can we do a quick pop culture, current event talk. O.J. Simpson died.
Wait.
Oh yeah, I saw that. God, I read a terrible headline for it.
What was the headline?
Cancer killed OJ, and it was just I know there's complications there, but it was like, oh god damn.
Well, I was gonna say, maybe I shouldn't say this, but like I've even seen like some like tributes, but like y'all agree he's a murderer, correct?
The glove didn't fit, Jackie. Glove didn't fit.
Yeah, but he was definitely a domestic abusing husband, and then got separated, and then decided to just kill everybody in his path.
Yeah, I mean, it's safe to say now, right? Like, he was a bad dude.
Yeah, and then he ended up being in, like, I guess he didn't go to jail for murder. He should have. But then he went to jail for, like, fraud and a bunch of shit. So.
Yeah. What's crazy, I'm not that old. I remember when this was happening.
When did it happen? Not to age you.
Early 90s. I wanted to say like 91, 93, somewhere around there. Like,
okay, for some reason I thought it was 95, so it might make
95 maybe,
because I think it was the year I was born.
I remember I was at school, elementary school, and all the teachers put it on, and we watched the verdict, and I was like 4th grade.
That's crazy.
And yeah, we watched this murder verdict, and all I can remember is they came out with the guilty verdict, and one of the strangest kids in my class just ran out of the room saying the juice is loose. Or not a guilty verdict. Sorry, he was not guilty, and yeah, he ran out saying that. I was like, that was weird. But I brought that up because like my siblings talk about seeing OJ, and my parents will say too, like seeing him in movies, and he was like a popular,
yeah,
you know, he was in pop culture. He was really popular.
Yeah.
And so to go from that to murder and being in this huge trial, like, God, that was wild.
It's because if you have like, you know, murdering tendencies inside of you, doesn't matter what you're doing, they're going to come out one day.
Is that so?
But yeah, O.J. Simpson couldn't hide the fact that he wanted to just murder some peeps. And I'll curse the dad. He's a murderer.
So who did they ever like, sorry, I'm 28, 29 years behind, and who did they say killed his wife or whatever?
They didn't ever convict anyone. Yeah.
Oh, so it's him.
Because it was him.
Yeah, it was him. Like the evidence was there. It really rested. I may be wrong in remembering it wrong, but I'm pretty sure it rested on the fact that this glove, the bloody glove, didn't fit OJ's hand.
Yeah, that's like the trope. But also I will say, I went down a rabbit hole once with the O.J. Simpson trial, and I will say, I'll give him credit. Robert Kardashian did an amazing job as a defense attorney in that trial.
Someone in the chat, John C. Sports, said that he's to blame for the Kardashians being famous. Is this true?
Because Robert Kardashian, their dad, he's passed away now. He passed away like a while ago, like before they were ever famous. He was OJ's attorney, and he was like a really like well-respected, famous like attorney. But yeah.
Jackie.
I mean, that's certainly propelled him into culture, right? Like that was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Jackie, you being a future attorney with a law degree, you think that you could have pulled that off for O.J. Simpson?
No. I seriously, you have to be a specific, you have to have like you have to be able to like really, really, really like disassociate to be like a defense attorney for people like that. And like, I respect it because those people are like good people that are it's just a job, but you know, and those people internally have their own opinions of what happened, but you were hired to defend. So you're going to defend, but I couldn't do that. Insane. I could not, like if I actually thought you murdered somebody, I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could be that type of attorney.
That's crazy.
Hard. Yeah. Like that takes like a very mentally strong person to be able to do.
I wouldn't be able to do it. I can't even, like one time I almost accidentally stole a flower pot from Home Depot because it didn't have a label on it. And I like went back in and I paid for it. Like I can't.
Oh, Zoe, you're such a good person.
You, bro. No, but seriously, my conscience can't.
No, I'm kidding. I know. I've never stolen anything. I feel like every kid when they were 14, 13 went through a phase where they stole something dumb, even if it was just a nail polish. I can honestly say never did. I just was like, this feels unnecessary.
Didn't we have a friend who got
banned? I was with
from-
her. She kept insisting on stealing something for me, and I was like, nope, I'm good. Do not steal something for me. And she had stolen literally a bag this size. She was walking through Target with a bag this size, just putting a bunch of stuff in it. And then
it was mostly bras, wasn't it?
Yeah, and swimsuits. And then they stopped us right when we were about to leave. They were probably watching us the whole freaking time. And then they had it on tape that I didn't steal anything. And then she was insisting that I have my dad come and pretend to be her dad. I was like, no. Also, you don't want my dad to come. He's a nutcase. He's not going to help you. Call your own parents.
That's funny. Yeah, and then she got banned from Target.
Yeah.
As was it high school?
Yeah, we had to have been sophomores. I wonder if she's been allowed back at that Target. I'm sure she has.
I mean, how do they ban you? A picture?
Yeah.
And I guess they put your name in the system.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's got to have changed enough now where.
Yeah, she has.
Anyways,
reach
out and ask. We need to figure out if she's been back.
You allowed in Target again? No, we're not on speaking terms.
and because of that, they're not on speaking terms.
Yeah, because of that,
they haven't talked since.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I just had to bring up the OJ Simpson of it all because that was a crazy headline to wake up to. I was like, oh wow,
OJ Simpson died
today.
Oh,
I actually will say I haven't seen that much about it. What I have seen is weird, but I haven't seen that crazy much about it. I think honestly because people just don't give a shit about OJ Simpson.
Everyone's
no, I mean, has he been in prison or no? He's been out. Didn't he get in trouble and he went to prison for a while?
He went to prison for something associated with gambling. I know he had a really bad gambling problem. But he went to prison for armed robbery. But then he also went to prison for something with gambling, or maybe he went to prison for armed robbery because he was trying to pay off gambling debts. There was something weird with gambling.
We're butchering it, yeah, because it's his memorabilia and gambling. It is a whole weird thing.
Yeah,
but he was not a good dude.
Yeah, so rest in hell, OJ.
Yeah.
Can you make that a clip, Jack?
Yeah.
We should publish that today so it's timely.
Yeah. Oh my god, we actually should.
Yep.
She's look at her wheel.
If I don't have time tonight, I'm gonna do it first thing tomorrow morning. It'll still be timely tomorrow morning.
So
Cybertrucks.
What?
Cybertrucks.
In-person events. Let's talk about it.
Oh yeah, sorry. In-person events.
Well, they isn't the whole thing that they're interconnecting somehow?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we've talked to, I think every time I talk about the Cybertruck, I'm like, go watch the vlogs because there's a bunch of content. But so we could talk about it a little bit, but Hyrum, let's talk about how much attention it gets.
A lot. Anytime I go out and drive it, I catch 5, 6, 7, 8 people taking pictures. And when I catch it, I try and be like, oh, yo, what's up, yo? Because I don't want to just sit there. I feel like that's so lame. So I'll try and do something funny when I catch someone. But yeah, it's wild. Down to people following you and being like, and they'll straight up tell you, I followed you. I just needed to come and see this crazy thing.
They do look so crazy.
Yeah.
There's one in San Diego, and I swear to God, he drives around just to show it off. Because I'll see him go in circles. I'll be on a walk, and it's here he is looping again. And it's you're just driving that thing around for fun. But it's because people stop him and stuff. But every time I look at them, I'm that is a crazy looking vehicle. It looks like the future.
It does.
So there was this one time this lady followed us while we were making content. We pulled over. You guys, actually, some people on Twitch saw it because we were streaming on Twitch. Mm-hmm. She followed us, and she said her car was like 32 years old, right? Like she's like, I've been driving this thing for 32 years. Like she was old, and she pulled into the parking lot behind us, was so distracted that she forgot to put her car in park. She got
Nearly
out of
lost
her
the
car and it was rolling away.
Oh my God.
And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so distracted. I just couldn't believe what is this thing? And her car was rolling away. She had to like jump back in it quickly to put it in park.
That's the coolest when people like actually like, because I mean, I don't think I even knew that Tesla was coming out with a Cybertruck because I don't like pay that close attention to Tesla until you guys were like talking about it. And so it probably is cool like to see people be like, what is this? Because there's definitely people who don't even know it's a thing. So then they see it and they're like, what the heck is that? Whereas like other people like obviously have seen pictures of it or whatever, and if they saw it, they would know what it is. But it probably is like so crazy for the people who are like just have straight up actually never heard of it, and then they see that driving down the street and they're like, what the fuck is that contraption?
Yeah, I talked to as many people who have no idea what it is as people who do.
Yeah.
But like the people who have no idea, like they're like, what is this, like a movie prop? Like they just can't comprehend what, like, that it's a production vehicle.
Yeah.
I have to admit, and Zoe, I haven't told you this. This is actually embarrassing. It gets so much attention that there's been times where like I'll drive for a little while and then I'll go somewhere, like I go to Target, right? Since we're talking about Target, and I'll go in the store, and then I'm like, why aren't people looking at me and like taking pictures of me? And I don't care about me, like.
Oh my God, you're a celebrity now.
No,
Not at all. That's
after we picked it up and we spent like, I don't know, a weekend. I can't remember. We've spent like a weekend making content with it. And then when I got back home and I was driving my regular Tesla, like in quotes, I was like, same thing. I'm like, why aren't people staring at me when I'm at a stop sign or like at a stoplight? Or like I get out.
You were just a lay person at that point.
Yeah, I'm just like a normal person now. But it's a weird feeling, and we were talking about it a little bit, like that it's probably the closest that either of us, well, I don't want to speak for you, but closest that I'll ever get to being like having so like celebrity attention, like not even celebrity attention, but if you have experienced like all of the attention that it gets, and then you're like, oh my God, I can't fathom what it would be like to be a celebrity that everyone recognizes,
that everybody stops. I actually have an operational question about the Tesla. This is like random, but it just occurred to me, does it hold less of a charge because it's bigger than the other ones? Like does the charge run out quicker, kind of like how bigger cars have their gas run out quicker?
This is a sensitive subject. Yes and no. The better, so it's sensitive because originally it was supposed to come with 500 miles of range, and like that is a really big deal. That's a like milestone number for EVs, and it has like EPA estimated like around a little over 300, which you're not going to get that.
What does EPA stand for?
Well, you got to ask questions like that.
You don't know.
I totally get that. We had a whole episode last week talking about BPOs, and I literally was like, "What the hell does that stand for?" I know what it is. I know what it is. But I actually could, if somebody held a gun to my head right now, like, what does it stand for? I would die.
Okay, the chat's going off. Environmental Protection Agency.
I need chat in my life because there's so many times where it's like, I mean, I draw a blank often where I'm like, help, phone a friend.
I know. I always look over the chat and I'm like, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's say you're getting generally around like 280 miles. It's a bigger battery pack, and so yeah, like because it weighs a metric fuck ton, it's a little less efficient in that sense. It takes more power to move it around, so it consumes a little more power, but it gets about the same distance as Zoe's Model Y.
Okay.
But it was supposed to get more.
I have the long range.
Yeah, it was supposed to get more. It charges a little faster
that's nice.
Than that. So there's that, but it's super comfortable. I mean, I think once you get into the habit of charging and doing superchargers and all that, yeah, lighting's looking good.
It was a little too bright, the first one you had.
Thanks, Jack. Yeah, I was trying to figure out. I have the windows open and it just started getting so dark.
Yeah.
So it got us thinking about the people, being in close contact with people. Buck put in the chat, he said, back to being so close to people and not contacting them. Exactly. But we started talking about, like, I haven't thought about how COVID, obviously everything stopped, like in-person things stopped, but like, do we feel like we're back to what we were before that, or has things changed? Like, if we were to just like take COVID off, like a blip out of time, and just wake up today and yesterday was before COVID, like, has it changed for in-person events? Has it gotten better? Has it gotten worse? What's going on with in-person stuff?
Wait, that's a good question. Go ahead, Hyrum.
I was going to say, I like trade shows and conventions, like attendance is down across all industries. Attendance is down. I think that in part is a good change, because people realize, I don't need to spend $500,000 or $1 million on a build up and to do these trade shows. Like we've done that, and there was MJ Biz Con, which is like the biggest trade show for the cannabis industry. You go and spend like $1 million on your build out, and you spend all year planning it out. Like, God, that's a lot of resources and effort to devote to something like that. So I think people realize they don't have to do that anymore, at least not to that degree. And, far fewer people are showing up.
Yeah, I'll say for me, like with in-person events and stuff, well, I guess this isn't like an answer to like events in general, but like the way that I treat them, like not anymore, but like so like I was in law school during COVID, and in law school, really, when life is normal, you have an event like 2 times a week, like networking events, whatever. And I missed out on that completely because the thick of COVID was all of law school. I was in law school for like 2 months before COVID happened, and it was so new into law school. We weren't doing that yet. It like literally happened when we were about to start doing that. So few years after law school, I was like afraid to go to events. Like if anything ever came up with work or anything, I would like not go. I would like give some excuse to not go and like not go. So I definitely got the post-COVID event conference effect of like, I'm never ever going to be somebody that goes to one because I'm terrified, and I never got introduced to them the way that like other people do. But now I love an event.
I was just gonna say, the feeling. So it's so hard because everything digitally is so easy to, and I guess shouldn't say everything, but most things digitally, it's easy to track conversions. It's not that easy to track like brand awareness. But like for events, it's so brand awareness heavy that it's like hard to track this like return on investment, etc. But the feeling that you get from going to like a good event is like, you can't measure that. And I'm going to look at the chat again because Buck is talking about going to London on Sunday for a big users conference. And he said, I agree, it's a lot of work, but he's a big advocate because the conversations that happen at these events don't happen virtually. And like the feeling, just like the feeling that you get from talking to people in person and having these conversations, like you can't measure that. And Jackie, we were talking, we have an event in May. And I think we were talking about which events Jackie's going to for like Let's Laugh About It and just like IA and stuff. And Jackie, what did you say for your ego?
Oh, that like I need it for my ego. Like it's been a minute since I've been to one, so like because there's one in May that I'm like trying to make work because it's literally like in the middle of like this whole traveling brigade I'm on, and I'm like I'm trying to make it work, like sneak a flight in there, and I'm like I'm really just trying to make it work because like my ego hasn't been like stroked in a minute, and like I need it stroked.
I do have to say, like, I've met up with you guys at an event, and it is impressive. One, how well you guys network, but two, like, yeah, people flock to you guys. It's pretty wild. It's like you guys are in a little personal Cybertruck at the event.
Yeah.
No, it's impressive. I'm glad that I don't garner that much attention. I'm glad that I get to just like kind of cruise through and talk to the people I really want to talk to.
I honestly think it's because actually, like, I'll give kudos to Zoe because I remember the first event I went to with Zoe, I was like, what do I wear? Do I need to wear, like, because I mean, like, I'm used to legal stuff, so like everybody's in like damn near like dresses. So I'm like, what do I wear? Like, how do I like interact with people? And Zoe literally was like, wear jeans and a t-shirt and interact like a normal person, you idiot. And I was like, okay. Um, but it's like so true. Like sometimes you go to events and these people talk like they're robots, or they're like damn near like asking you how much you make in a year. Like they're like, it's such like invasive questions, and it's like all about like what you can do for them and like your caliber at wherever you work. And if you're below where they think that like you should be, then they really don't care to talk to you. Whereas like I think if you just like talk to people like a normal person, like people like flock to you. And like so we kind of just like taught me that from the first event we were going to, like just be yourself, like, and then you're fine. And it's so true.
I remember that first one where everyone was like asking me what they wear.
Yeah.
And I like honed into like obviously be presentable, but like wear whatever you want. Like I remember people were like, "Well, can I show like a crop top and stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah, do whatever you want." Like literally it doesn't, as long as you're presentable and like you're being yourself and like you're like, yeah, just be yourself. You don't have to like change yourself to go to events, and people respect that.
And honestly, when you like aren't yourself at an event, like when I think of just like random events I've been to or whatever, whenever I'm like not myself or like I'm wearing something that I'm so uncomfortable in, but it's just because I wanted to look presentable, that's when I talk to nobody because all I can think about is what I look like and how I sound.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm a weirdo. And that's when I get no networking done. That's when I don't talk to a single soul. And it's like I might as well not have even gone to the event. But when I'm like when I went to the events with Zoe or whatever, like and just acted like myself, I feel like I was like chatting the whole time. And it's because I wasn't insecure about anything.
One other thing about events, I think this is actually an interesting topic because Harm, I'd like to hear what you think because I feel like sometimes uh, companies when they send you to events they expect something out of them for like return and like what'd you learn, like all those things. And sometimes get sent to events saying like get leads, like etc. And I feel like if you go into events with like a sales goal or like some type of like goal, like you were saying, like what am I going to get out of these people, it comes off so unauthentic that like it's hard to talk to those people. And you know which people are like that. But if you go and your intention is just to literally like make friends and like learn and like get to know people and like just see what people are up to and what's going on in the industry, it's such a different, like you get so much more out of it in my opinion. And the return on investment long term is so much better because I when we had our first event, again I had this like little spiel with the girls, like don't go in there and like brag about the agency as far as like, like we're not trying to find clients, we're literally just going to make friends and like see who we can meet and like learn from. And if they turn into clients one day, cool, but only if we can offer them something that's going to help them and like teach them something too.
Yeah.
And Jackie, you've seen like it'll be maybe like a year will go by and then somebody we met at an event last year will be like, oh, do you guys still do this? Like, we need help. Can I pick your brain? And then they turn into a client.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will make me sound bad at first, but I feel like at these events, I feel like I get the best glimpse, and like it'll be the best, like close experience I'll ever have to being a woman, of like people just coming after me, wanting my budget, my monies, or they're like you can just feel the like hunger that they have for you, and it's like you're like, oh God, please, like don't be so desperate or don't be so obvious or like and honestly, the way to my heart and to build a relationship is to make me feel safe. And like, you're not there to just sell to me. Like I will turn down a dinner at the nicest restaurant if I feel like you're just gonna hard sell me all night. Like I don't, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit through 2 hours of just like people wringing my arms.
Yeah. That is kind of like a crazy concept. Like if you actually think about it, like how that's like such a way to get business. Like, let's take this person out to like this nice dinner. Like, I don't know. Is that like a thing as much anymore? Like post
Oh yeah.
is
Oh
it?
yeah.
I like
Yeah.
could never, I mean, maybe it's just because nobody's tried to take me to dinner to sell me anything, but I
Someone
just
take this girl to dinner.
yeah, maybe I'm susceptible to caving, but I just can't picture that I would be. Like I just am, not to sound like a cool girl, but I'm just like so not impressed by like nice things or expensive dinners. I'd be like, sweet, you're still the worst. Can I leave now?
Yeah.
Pay for this cab and then I'm out.
Hiram, that same event, we went to I actually respected this girl was telling us that she got through like her first like entry level jobs, like because the pay wasn't what good, but like all the tech companies would take her out to dinner, and that's how she ate dinner like every day, she said.
I respect that because then if you're getting the entry level, you're getting paid low, but you don't have to spend money on food. That's saving you a decent penny.
So you change your
Yeah.
mind now, Jack?
Well, because she was being strategic about it. She honestly is a strategic mastermind. She should be the head of operations somewhere.
You get so tired of it though. Oh my
Yeah, I'm sure.
gosh. The food is great and it's fun for a while, but holy
But see,
moly.
I'm such a I really am like such a foodie. I like love eating. I love going out to eat, but it's an experience thing for me. Is like half like if I am eating dinner and it's not in front of like a show I really want to watch, like I'm upset. So like I just feel like I still wouldn't like the dinner even if it was good because I'd be like, oh, I'm talking to you.
Yeah. No, one of my best friends, we talk about this, like going out to dinners like a form of entertainment.
Yeah.
And like that's a huge part of it as like the interactions that you have. And so if, it doesn't really matter if the food's great if the interactions are terrible.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I'm out.
So, on speaking from like brand side, I've noticed too that not only well, I guess it just depends. I'm only seeing maybe I'm referencing maybe like 15 brands that I'm watching or like being involved in a little bit with the agency, but I do feel like brands are putting so much budget into digital and not so much budget into like out of home or like events and stuff. But I wonder, and Hiram, I want to hear your like what's going on because you have like lots of brands, and I'm just interested. Like, I wonder if brands are going to start increasing their budget for in person stuff, or maybe they haven't realized, or maybe they don't think it's worth it. But like from a brand side, investing in these in-person things that I'm not talking about like conferences, but even just like community events more. Like that's what I want to do is community events, invest in that, not like big trade shows and stuff. So like what's going on, what, or if you're able to talk about it, or what do you think is going on?
Yeah, no, the brands that are really smart over the years, like they invested time into. I'm gonna talk digital first, but they invested time in building like Facebook groups and having these audiences, and more recent example of that is like building a Discord community and having these great communities that are digital, and I feel like those same brands who really understand that well have started to take that and bring some of the like bring as many of those people into like the physical world and into these in-person events, because when you make that like that jump, it's kind of like what I was saying when with the brand directors and people I was rubbing wrong at first. Like when you make that jump and you meet those people, you build such a strong relationship because you have all this like history in theory with them, and sometimes that's like parasocial relationships, but it really helps to form these strong bonds. And if you're able to do that where they're these people are forming bonds with the brand and the business and the company, it's really powerful. Or then like IA, you guys, people are building that bond with you guys and building those relationships with you. You know, I think like that's how, you know, in maybe some way, like Jackie the VA, or, you know, the famous Jackie the VA, like though, like that comes out of that, and it's really like a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say everything you were saying reminded me of have you guys heard of, like, people talk about it on TikTok all the time, like the beauty brand Tarte Cosmetics, the like phenomenon with the way they market. So they like do all these events like the Bora Bora trip, or even just like dinners in New York City and LA, and they make them like this huge deal and like treat these influencers to like a private plane to get there. But like the point that I think like really is why, because these influencers go on these crazy trips all the time, but I think what makes them talk about it so much is the person to person interaction they get with like the literal CEO of Tarte. She goes on all of these trips. She goes to the dinners. She was actually just in Chicago. I saw like somebody I know from like my high school job, like went to this event to like meet her because she's almost become like an influencer herself. And like these influencers, I was watching this thing and I could be like a little wrong, but I think it's true, because now that I think about it, like Tarte actually, it probably seems like it because Tarte is like down people's throats on social media, but Tarte like actually doesn't spend like money on like they like, you know, you'll see influencers, like, I just don't want to say the wrong term for what it is, but you know, when you see influencers being like a paid ad, like when they're like, oh, buy this, like Tarte like doesn't actually do that. They obviously put a bunch of money into marketing and stuff because they go on these trips and all these things. But when somebody posts like, you know, like a lipstick they love from Tarte, it's not because, and this is a really interesting like concept, and it goes with those in-person events and stuff. Influencers are now promoting it for free because they know if they promote it a lot and it catches on that they're promoting a lot, they're going to get invited on that next Tarte Bora Bora trip. And it's like creating this like whole way of like, I don't know, it's like now you're getting this like free advertisement so that these people can go to your in-person events or like your in-person trips and stuff. It's kind of like a really cool concept. And the CEO of Tarte is like a genius. Honestly, the CEO of Tarte would be like a dream guest, because I think she is a genius.
Well, I know why Hyrum's chuckling over there, because he was trying to talk to me about this, and then he's like, I have no idea what's going on, and Hyrum's like, Jackie would know.
Well, you were going to talk about all the Tarte stuff?
Yeah, no, I tried to tell Zoe, I was just trying to razz her, and I was like, oh, Tarte invited me to Bora Bora, and she's like, who's Tarte? And like, no, it was like nothing.
Oh my god.
And it didn't work because it was supposed to be, you would have gotten it, Jackie.
Yeah, kind of like the oil rig joke, but on
so what they're doing is they're investing in experience, right? And in experiences, and those are powerful. They're also kind of risky, because if you put on a shitty experience, then that's all people are going to think about.
I know.
But if you do a good job of it, then, you know, you get these people who are influencing other influencers, and they get to experience it, and like you're creating this in crowd, like a group of popular people, and then you have people who want to mirror that and mimic it, and like then you get like a like amplification of your marketing for free.
Yeah, it was interesting because Tarte was like kind of came on the scene because of their tape shape concealer, and it was huge. Like I used that concealer for like years, and they kind of like, besides that, they kind of like didn't have anything else that like really like was that exciting for like the beauty world. And then they kind of started like doing this whole concept that they're the first brand I've seen like master it. And yeah, now like people like, now I'm seeing like finding myself buying Tarte stuff, but I think it's really just like subconsciously because I see it everywhere, because I don't know, like it's really not that great, the stuff I've gotten, but I keep like repurchasing from the brand. I don't know, it's kind of crazy.
Love sometimes makeup stuff is like, for me, I don't pay that much attention, but so it's like one of those things that I'll like buy, and I'll have something, and I don't really, if you like said the brand name, I'm like, I wouldn't know unless you like pointed it out that I had it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but Hyrum, it's kind of like some of the Scott stuff, I think, where it's like you're just like buying it to like to take care of yourself or take care of your yard and stuff, but you're not like consciously like, oh, this is this brand. But that's Tarte. I like use the BB cream. And when you talk to me about Tarte's thing, I like didn't associate Tarte, the makeup brand, with what you were talking about, but it's so cool, that experience, what you said, Hiram, like investing in experience. And I wonder if they like that is so what would you call it? Like it's hard to track. Like how do you know, how do you track that? Like obviously, like Jackie, you're saying it like you know that it's working, but how does a brand track that? And like how do they know it's worth it? I guess they can see the social interactions and stuff, but also if you're going from the brands deal with this all the time where it has to be like shown on paper, and if that budget isn't shown on paper how much money it's bringing in, it could be cut so easily. And like so they could get a new, I don't know, CFO, and they're like, oh my gosh, you spent $1 million on this event and brought in what, and like just cut that budget, and then that's like all gone.
Yeah. I mean, companies spend an incredible amount of money on brand lift studies, right? That's what they're trying to measure, the lift after something like this. And it is probably more art than science, really. Like they pull in a ton of numbers, and they're, but it's there's a lot of like extrapolating and making assumptions, and some of it is, they're really good assumptions based on like great numbers, but there's a fair portion of it where it's like, oh, this is the halo effect, and just trust us.
Yeah. It's funny because I saw this TikTok of this girl like breaking down like the Tarte phenomenon and stuff. Like that's what, like people on TikTok call it. But and how she was talking about how like you can tell like influencers are pushing Tarte because they want to be on the next trip. And it's funny because one influencer who influenced me to buy it's like one of their like lip products that's like really popular right now. She like influenced me to buy it, and then I saw her go on her first Tarte trip. So it made me think like I wonder if like she was chosen because they somehow saw that like how she was talking about this lip product like actually did convert into like sales. I don't know how they can like do that. I mean, the influencer knows if it's converting because I mean she's like links in bio. She knows how many people used her link, but like it's not like a Tarte specific link. So like is she like even just like sending that to Tarte to be like, please let me be on your next brand trip? I'm converting you this much. Like I kind of wonder because I know a lot of these influencers because a lot of them will talk candidly on TikTok, which is like something I love about TikTok because I find that world so interesting. Like in a different life, I would work like for like, I don't know, something on like, behind the scenes for that because I find the analytics of that like so interesting. But a lot of them will like do that. They will, use their like to know a page and they'll send it to brands and be like,
oh, yeah.
Can I have like an actual brand deal with you? Look at how much I like convert.
Yeah.
So like I wonder if like these girls want to go on these Tarte trips so badly that they're doing that. I mean, it'd be genius.
Yeah, I mean, if someone is moving a lot of product, the brand knows like,
yeah,
we'll get that information, feed it back to us.
Yeah.
And then, like you'll see like someone brand new come into the scene and you're like, oh shoot, all right, let's like, let's talk to them and partner with them, and we're going to push some, advertising their way, or we're going to help support them one way or another.
Yeah, it's so cool.
With the Tarte thing, I one of the early influencers I saw, but I thought this was so fascinating, is she was a smaller influencer and she got invited to the Bora Bora trip. She talked about how like the first night that she got there, she was so self-conscious because she was very, very small in terms of like her audience. And that she says she didn't check social media at all to see like any of what was being said and what was going on. And she said that she feels like that saved her mentally because she looked later on and saw all these things of like that she said would have made her feel really self-conscious had she not spent enough time just like tuned out and in person and connecting with people and talking with people, and building that confidence like, oh yeah, I should be here. And it's super interesting, like the way we think we don't maybe belong or aren't good enough to be places, but if we could tune that out and just like connect with people, like you feel like, oh no, I should be here, and like these are my people, and this is great.
Yeah. No, that's so true. Yeah, because it's so easy to like isolate yourself and just like, just your mind is crazy. The tricks it'll play on you that like you're not good enough or you don't belong or anything. Yeah.
I wanted to for what Jackie, what you were saying about a brand and like uh an influencer pushing it and like not knowing how much, or a brand not knowing how much. This happened quite a few times at Chomps where we would all of a sudden get like an uptick in sales. Like usually we would be pretty good about like predicting how many sales, like based on like what's going on and like what money we're spending on where, and where we're launching, all those things. And then we would get like a random uptick, and like our first instinct was to go to Instagram or like social media and see if we were like randomly tagged in something. And a lot of times it would be like one viral video that we didn't pay for. Someone just like Kelsey Ballerini one day would like had Chomps in a reel, and like we're like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Because and so it's brands know, they notice
Yeah.
all those things. They see every single, I mean, I guess it's different, but like even big brands, they see every single thing you tag them in. Like they
Yeah,
notice people.
I do miss being at a small brand where when that happens, like everyone is just so hype and like gets so excited because it means so much more.
Yeah.
But I know exactly what you mean. Like you'll come into the office and you're like, holy shit, we had a great, like, why are we popping off today? And everyone's just trying to like figure out like what's going on. Why, like, what is it? What is it? And then you find, like someone mentioned you on some podcast, or, someone posted pictures of your product and, on their feed. And it's incredible. People's individual influence like that.
Insane.
Yeah. I would love to be that influential.
Jackie, I actually want to go back to you saying in another world that you would like to do that, but I vouch for you that you can do that in like this world tomorrow for a brand, because you're so good at like that stuff and you are so in tune with it. So you would be like 10 times better than like some of the people I've seen do it. So
I seriously I was meant to work for like socials, like I don't know, like the marketing team at like a beauty brand, because I just swear I know all of the niche like beauty influencer accounts that like convert, and you can tell they convert just from following them.
Minded.
Yeah.
Like you're business minded. You're like, you are the perfect person for that. So I think that's going to happen in this world if you want it.
On a legal background is invaluable, because you actually do navigate a lot of tricky situations in social, and having some level of understanding of like, ooh, we should be really careful here and tread lightly. That, like, I would kill for that.
Yeah, sometimes I do think about like because I always say like, I mean, I want to be an attorney, but sometimes I always say like that I've just always been like, all my friends, like Zoe, like our whole group could vouch for me that I swear I was the first on watching YouTube vloggers, like influencer vloggers. I was seriously on the beginning of that. Like I was watching them when like the biggest ones now only had like 100 subscribers and they were like 13 years old. Like I really have been on it. But sometimes I'm like, a law degree would be so helpful in that field, that like maybe like me going to law school like wasn't to be an attorney. Maybe it was to do something like that.
Honestly, it's such a good foundation.
Yeah.
Like I think it builds a way of thinking for you that is very, very valuable, and you can use that in so many different areas.
I feel super lucky to have you, because even just having you for the agency gives me peace of mind, because legal stuff pops up every day, like literally every day. And I'm always like, the girls will come to me about something and I'm like, legally ask Jackie.
Yeah.
That's like, I can give you my advice, but like, go ask Jackie if this is legal and like the best thing to do for the business. And it just like gives us that peace of mind. And honestly, like, we don't pay you enough.
No, you do. But it's funny. Molly literally called me today and she was like, I have like what I think's a legal question. I won't say what it is, obviously, but she was like, would there be like a legal issue with that? And I was like, yeah. There would.
Yeah, there would. Yeah, it's really, really nice to have you. And I think you can apply it to anything because it is, I mean, you need it for everything. And when people say, I really think that this is like there holds some truth behind the saying that's like, you're not a successful brand until you're in some type of like legal trouble, like, or there's like so much, there's always something legal happening.
I mean, it's so easy. That's like why it's so important. That's why, like, I know everybody's like, oh, like AI is going to take over like the legal world. Like, no, it's not, because there's so much nuance to it. And everything, even if you check every single box, like you can have an attorney on your team and that attorney could be the best attorney, check every single box, and you will still have somebody suing you. You'll still have a legal problem. Like, and it's because there's so much nuance to law. Like everything has a loophole in it, and like somebody can find a way to sue you, and you can be like, there was no way for us to like expect that. So yeah, it's always good to just like have a legal perspective on things, but also you can have a legal perspective on things and like you're still gonna get in legal trouble. So it's just like a crazy world.
It is a crazy
world.
I
feel like in marketing, a cease and desist is like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
But a subpoena is not as fun, and you don't want to keep that documentation around.
No, subpoenas are scary.
Those are scary.
Yeah.
Hyrum, we are coming up on time. I think we went over a little bit, but where you could plug yourself, where can people find you?
Excuse me.
What?
Did you guys prepare your brand of the week?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have mine. I can go if you guys aren't ready.
Okay, go for it.
Mine is Miracle Grow. You know why?
Why?
I got this cute little ficus tree. You know, you see it? Everyone see it?
Say that again.
And I got 2 big old bags of Miracle Grow from Home Depot. And I took this ficus tree and I ripped it apart. It came actually with 3 of those big stock boys. And I repotted them with Miracle Grow into 3 different pots. And now it's in 3 different areas of my house. And Miracle Grow was and I even was putting my, I had my,
what are you going to say?
This is going to sound weird, but you know how like people are talking about like grounding and like having your like toes in the earth?
Yeah.
Like that's what I was doing with the Miracle Grow.
Don't, please.
Was that like your thought process while you were doing it? You were like, I'm grounding myself?
My boss was just talking about that exact scenario, and I was like, please, no, that's not a real thing. That
Send him this clip.
No. I don't want to. God, we're going to have to really...
So that's my brand of the week, Miracle Grow. Shout out.
Jackie, you better go because I need time to think.
Okay. My brand of the week is LSKD. Because they actually just had a warehouse sale at they like had it at Performance 360, which is just a gym that's in this neighborhood, but it's like right next to the store. And I got my first LSKD pair of biker shorts and leggings because they were like $40 and they're normally pretty expensive, and they're great. I'm a big fan.
Them.
Really
That's
good quality.
Brand.
So Jackie, I think I actually got a pair of biker shorts that like you have, like I swear.
I want to invite LSKD to the
like
San Diego event. Cute.
You have a pink set like this.
I do have. Mine's a little bit. Mine's like more redder pink, but it's pink like that.
Is it more like this? This is my leggings. These are my leggings.
I think so. Yeah.
These are a little darker than their ones. But yeah, I really like them.
But did you hear me? I want to invite them to the San Diego event.
I was going to say that's a really good idea. You should.
Yeah. Okay, Hyrum.
You're
I'm like looking around thinking like, oh, what's a good
what
brand?
have you used avidly this week?
He's been raving about these chicken sandwiches from Costco.
I don't know that brand. And that's so funny because I was thinking about it earlier of like, what do they do with their marketing? What is a weird like food brand like that where it's just this chicken wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah, frozen chicken wrap. Like, what? How are they getting out there? Like, I'm not seeing any of their marketing anywhere. Like, and yet, come across it and it's like becomes a staple. Yeah, I have to look at what the brand name on it is.
You'll
But
tell me, and then I'll put a little picture of it. That could be your favorite.
okay, I'll text it to you. It honestly is fire. I guess it's like my dopamine food, and it really is not providing dopamine, but I get hooked on food where it's like, this is super easy to eat and it's relatively healthy.
Yeah.
And I've been crushing those.
There's this, I guess this could be like my favorite, but it's just like Trader Joe's brand. There's this like tofu. What are those like those like, they're not spring roll wraps. They're like that really clear. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I think those are spring rolls. Those aren't spring
Are
rolls?
those called spring rolls? But they're cold. Like, it's not a hot spring roll.
Yeah.
Okay, are they still called spring rolls?
They're like Vietnamese, I think, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Trader Joe's has this like tofu one. They also have a shrimp one, but shrimp can weird me out sometimes. But I'm hyper fixated. I walk over there and get it for lunch every single day. And it comes with this like cashew dip. And it's just, I love it. And it's like oddly filling, even though it's like probably like super low in calories and like whatever. Like, I don't think it's like meant to be filling, but for some reason, maybe it's tofu's protein.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's incredibly filling and it's so good. I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah. Do you guys do that where you get hooked on a food and you're just like, it's on repeat for you?
Yes.
Until finally one day, like, you're like, ooh, that was one too many. I got to stop.
Was me with, and I'm so sad about it because I used to love them, but Perfect Bars, Jackie, remember I was on my Perfect Bar kick?
Yeah. And then there was like so many in the fridge and Zoe was like, Jackie, eat them, because I've like hit the threshold where like I know I'm not gonna eat them anymore. And I was like, if you insist, I'll eat them up.
Hey, John C. Sports has his brand of the week. I like where chat's thrown in there.
Yeah, chat. We've been loving the chat today.
John C. Sports said Travis Matthews is his favorite. I got Brian a shirt from Travis Matthews for Valentine's Day.
I had never heard of it before you.
I hadn't either.
And then also, since we're looking at the chat, C. Smith was talking about how they spend on relationships with their customers. Our customers still get big treatment, but smaller customers see less perks. Interesting. They're big customers. And we never do conventions or anything. This is more one-on-one. Interesting. Let us know where you work, C. Smith. I don't remember, if you don't mind sharing. Oh, Jackie's a good girlfriend, says John C. Smith. I mean, John C. Smith. John C. Sports.
Brian's a good boyfriend. That's what it is,
That's what it is. He is, truly.
Yeah.
But I'm not that good of a girlfriend. It's an expensive brand, and he only got one because they were having a huge sale. Because one shirt's like $100. That is, I mean, I could talk we're like so over time. I'll say this for another podcast, but I could talk all day about consumerism. Holy shit. And inflation and everything. I can't.
Preach.
We were talking about, and we can not talk about it right now, but maybe next podcast. But talking about buying furniture and like how just the pricing of furniture, and I'm like not sure if I spend more on something that it actually means that it's like better quality. I have no idea. Like, it's
honestly, I don't think it freaking does, because like at my parents' house, a few years ago, my grandpa actually like gifted my mom a Crate and Barrel couch, and Crate and Barrel, super expensive. It pills. It's like the worst, and it's not that comfy. I'm like these brands like Crate and Barrel, like Pottery Barn, like I don't know what else is it, like West Elm, like all these brands. I'm like, I don't know if they're actually better.
No, I got a West Elm couch and it was awful, and it like tore apart. Like, I didn't even, barely used it, and it ripped at the seams.
Yeah.
And they didn't care. I know Zoe has a good West Elm.
Yep.
Experience.
You what?
I ordered what I thought was 2 bar stools from West Elm because I thought it was a good price for bar stools. Like,
what is it? I'm scared what it ended up being.
I spent, I think it ended up being like 160 for 2 bar stools, and I was like, oh my gosh, West Elm. Still, that's like kind of a lot of money for 2 bar stools, but I was like, oh well, it's West Elm, so like it's got to be nice. Like they were super cute. And I had the hardest time tracking them, and like I think they were back, or I don't know, but I couldn't find my order confirmation. I called today and I was like, I can't find it. Can you send me the order confirmation? Blah blah. And she's like, oh yeah, your 2 bar stool cushions should arrive today. I paid $160 for 2 bar stool cushions.
I was gonna say, Zoe, like even when you said
the picture, actually.
Because honestly, no, like furniture is so expensive now that honestly, when you said like $160 is still expensive, like honestly, even on like Wayfair, like 1 bar stool is $160. Like furniture really is just like so expensive.
Furniture shot up. It's wild.
Let me make sure I don't have any. This is the picture for the bar stool cushions.
Misleading.
Pissed.
It's a whole bar stool. Yeah, that's some bullshit.
So I'm gonna take my happy ass into West Elm in store and say, can you guys please take this back?
So you should look up like West Elm, Crate and Barrel. If those are like the stores you want to shop from, you should really not buy online. You should go to their warehouses.
There's which one did I say?
Because I'm sure there's some in the Phoenix area. There has to be.
There's
honestly,
Anthropologie.
You're so close to Mexico. Drop down into Mexico and, buy down there. You just save yourself some real money.
Yeah. Maybe bring somebody.
Don't take the Cybertruck. I'm afraid it wouldn't come back.
I was literally just going to say, what would the Cybertruck be like in Mexico?
Yeah.
They did do a trip down to Baja, Mexico with a bunch of Cybertrucks. And I shouldn't talk shit on Mexico like that. I love Mexico.
No, I love Mexico too, but just like
the border is a little sketchy.
Yeah, and like just like a bunch of places in America, I would still say don't go alone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
PB, don't go there.
Don't go alone.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Hyrum, where can the people find you if you want them to find you? Do you want them to find you?
You can if you want to. I mean, you can find me online. If you actually don't search my name online, because there's another Hyrum Taylor out there who really screwed it up for the rest of us Hyrum Taylors.
Can we just share what they did?
I have to say, I find I've never ever met somebody else named Hyrum, and the fact that there's another Hyrum Taylor is like kind of crazy to me.
This is terrible. And so you have to have a little background first. Like I grew up Mormon. I'm not Mormon anymore. Hyrum is a pretty giveaway name for that. But this guy got arrested for polygamy, and his name is Hyrum Taylor. And when you search that, I don't know if it comes up anymore. It's like on the second or third page, but it was kind of so embarrassing. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Hyrum, spelled HIGHRUM. Or, look at Miracle Grow, Scott's, those things. You'll see me. I'm just behind the scenes.
Yeah. Follow his TikTok.
Yeah, you follow my TikTok.
Or
follow Cybertrucky, where we are, doing fun things with the Cybertruck, or Zoe's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Hyrum. This was fun. And housekeeping, we have really, really quick. I know we're over. Shout out to the newsletter girlies, because they had they're really leaning into what's going on, and the subject line of today's newsletter said like Chat GPT was down, so I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's good.
And I thought that was so good. So follow the newsletter. There's a link in the description, and then also come if you're in the San Diego area. We've got an event on May 2nd. I will be speaking on a panel. Anne from Olipop will be there. When that's happening, we're going to schedule a podcast with Anne from Olipop, which will be fun.
She's hilarious. You'll have to listen to that episode.
Yes. And so if you're in the area, come to the event. We'll put a link to sign up for the event there. It'll be really fun. I'm excited to get back into San Diego. And yeah, So we'll catch you.
Oh, wait. Huge announcement. If you're somebody who might just be like listening to this because you just listen to the podcast when it like comes up, we're on Tuesdays now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going live on Tuesday. Not going live on Thursdays anymore. We've got too much content going out on Thursdays. We want to split up the content week. And the main one is just like, it's really hard to find time to record before a episode on Thursday. Because we like to record, pretty close when we go live. So it's like current and all that kind of stuff. And it just makes way more sense to find time to record before a Tuesday because you got the weekend, you got everything.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that because I was like trying to wrap my head around like no matter what day it is, we always have 7 days, but something just feels so rushed about like doing it on a Monday or recording on a Monday or Tuesday because like those are the hardest work days.
It does because so like the podcast would go live on Thursday, so then it's like do all this work, and then Friday is like the live day, so like more work. But then to do it that weekend feels really quick to already record again, and then then it's the next work week, and like Monday's crazy, Tuesday's crazy, and then you get to Wednesday and it's the day before you're supposed to go live, and now you're rushing. So it just something about Tuesday is the sweet spot. I feel it too. I don't know how to explain it, but it is.
Yeah, I feel it. We'll let you know in a couple weeks how we feel.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a new excuse to why Tuesday doesn't work.
We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Love you guys.
That?
Jackie, you're in charge of the. Oh, I guess I can stop going live on Twitch.